So, do you have to pay taxes when you receive an inheritance? Um, what if it's 10 grand? What if it's $100,000? What if it's $1 million? What if it's $10 million? Do you pay taxes on that when you receive it as an inheritance? It breaks down into a few different things. So, welcome to America. There are lots of different kinds of taxes. Income tax, which you pay on money you earn, right? Your income. Money you pay on capital gains tax when you sell something for a profit. You bought it for this, you sold it for that. When you inherit something, there's inheritance taxes. There's also estate taxes, which is actually before it gets inherited, the estate tax. There's gift tax. There's sales tax. There's, oh my gosh, right? So, what applies when you're talking about an inheritance? If you're the person who's going to receive something, you had a family member pass away, whether it's coming through a trust, through a will, through probate, or even through just a beneficiary designation. Like, what if they left you an IRA or a life insurance policy, and you don't have to do anything? You just kind of turn in the paperwork to the life insurance company, and they're going to send you a check. Do you pay inheritance tax? This is a whole 3-day class. And honestly, people go get a master's degree in taxation to understand how all this stuff actually works out in real life. Here's a couple basic fundamentals for you. Um, the estate itself may have to deal with a tax bill before you ever get the money. If it does, that's not your responsibility as the beneficiary. And that might apply whether you're named under a trust, under a will, a beneficiary form on life insurance, or an IRA or 401k or annuity, doesn't matter. Even if you might get something sort of outside of that whole probate process, just not even connected with a trust, you may still have to let the estate deal with a tax bill before you get anything. So just know that it might need to be dealt with at that first level. But then when it comes to you, generally speaking, generally speaking, there's going to be very little inheritance tax if you live in Arizona. Arizona doesn't have an inheritance tax for the recipient. Good stuff, right? Yeah, it's great. So that there's no inheritance tax, whether it's 10 grand, 100,000, a million, 10 million, doesn't matter. Arizona doesn't have an inheritance tax. What Arizona does have is an income tax, and that might apply to you if you're receiving something that's coming through an IRA, possibly an annuity, or a 401k, maybe a 403b, any of those tax deferred accounts that were tax deferred for the person who died. If it was tax deferred for them, it's tax deferred in your lap. And now you are going to have to take distributions at least over the course of the next 10 years until that account is fully withdrawn. And every dollar you take out is going to be income tax to you. Yeah, that sucks. I know. You're like, I'm working. I already pay taxes. Well, you work and you make this much per year. Now you're going to get a little bit from that account, and it's going to be a little bit more. And so every time you take a distribution out of that, it's going to be taxable income to you, and you're going to have to juggle how much you need to set aside and make sure you keep that from the first dollar, whether it's $1 or $1 million. Sorry to break the news there. Good news is Arizona doesn't have inheritance tax. There's other states. I think Nebraska is one of them where, yeah, you pay the income tax, but then you also, as the recipient, have another tax bill on top of it, the inheritance tax. So be grateful we don't have that, but you do have to deal with the income tax at a federal level and at the state level. You're going to file a state tax return. It's going to be added to income on that. Not the best news, but not the worst news. If you know you're going to be receiving that, if they haven't planned for those taxes yet, they haven't passed away yet, there's strategies. They can put some tax planning strategies in place to help reduce that tax burden, make it so it's not as hard on you as burdensome on your tax bill, but you still get the benefits. If you want to know what those strategies are, give my office a call and let's talk about it.